right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We have a couple of excellent matches for you today, including this one, our Group B bronze match, Vicinal v Night Owls. I'm your host, it's Bubble Tea TV, but you can call me T since we're such good friends. And I am here with my good friend, Contra. Contra, how are you feeling about Chucky and Hawkins today?
Hi, T. Thank you for the nice intro. I'm feeling good about Chucky today, and I was talking a little bit about this off stage before we went live here, but I haven't casted Chucky since I think 2 iterations of this killer ago. He's gotten a couple of changes since then, and I'm excited to see how he performs, especially on Hawkins. But we do see Vamp get this first injury here onto Yatos, who is holding W here and does get the drop on this pallet, and looks like he is our lucky break survivor. So we'll have to see if Vamp can keep up and track him. Actually, it looks like he catches Yatos out, but he gets the corner juke, and he actually avoids that slice and dice attack. And Chucky's on cooldown now for another 12 seconds. So, T, I think this is a nice chase from Yatos so far, despite that early tag. He's buying a lot of valuable time for Night Owls here.
Yeah, this is going pretty back and forth. Getting him in that same spot to Chucky able to get their first down. Vamp probably very excited about this, but we have a lot of progress on gens. We see one about to go, a second also pretty close, but that pain res coming in clutch for Chucky. Gonna be moving through the map looking for someone new.
Yep, and that was the first pain res of the game. So we see that generator, I believe, at the portal room get hit with a minus 20%. And Chucky now, I do want to talk about here while we have a little bit of downtime, is a bit of a different killer than we were used to recently, because he did get a nerf with, I believe, a 20% decrease to his slice and dice speed, but it did get increased range a little while ago. And still a good killer despite that. But since then, he's actually got a small compensation buff where he accelerates that top speed a little bit quicker. So not technically as fast as old Chucky, but does ramp up that speed faster, does accelerate a bit faster, and still has that extra range. So I do think right now, even though he's technically not as fast as he was in his prime, I do think with that extra range, he can still get some pretty nasty hits. And right now, it looks like Vamp is actually happy taking that injury onto Rats and confirming a second stage here onto Yatos. Is looking around for somebody maybe playing for an unhook here, and we are seeing the extra range come into play. You can just use your power for mobility, and Yatos does hit second stage. They did let that go second for some generator progress, and Vamp is aware of an injured Rats over here and that high progress generator. Important to note, we still do have Hex Ruin up. So every time these survivors get pushed off these gens, Ruin will passively regress to that. And Hanato did go ahead and use For the People onto our tap player, Yatos here. So if Yatos is able to escape out of here and maybe just not get found, then this could be the little comeback Night Owls needed. If there's no tunnel out in sight, then it might be difficult for Vamp to keep up. And I think he realizes that. It might be... actually, no, he's not leaving Hanato. I thought he was dropping this chase, but T, I wonder if this is in Vamp's best interest, because there is a lot of generator progress, so maybe playing for these pain resonance stacks here is better, but this game staying a 4v1 will definitely make things difficult for Vamp. There's just so many survivors up and about able to do these gens, and we only have 2 stages on the board now with 2 gens left, or 3 stages, excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see Zarya on this totem over here, hoping to get rid of that pesky Ruin Ace also, we can see in the distance. Yeah, Vamp has a little bit of work to do here. If they could get that tap out quickly, they would have a much better shot at things. But as it is, these survivors are doing a great job keeping generator progress. They're doing a really great job of running Chucky. I don't know. Vamp's got it all to do, I think. And I would be a little bit concerned, but we are going to be taking chase on Zarya here in the lab. We'll see what she can pull off in terms of buying some time for her teammates.
Ooh, Rats. Okay. Rats on this arena, juking that slice and dice, abusing this pesky little god window, and Vamp is actually going to leave this chase, but we do see off in the distance our ace player Leo is popping another generator, so that is 4 gens on the board, and it looks like Vamp is actually back in chase with Yatos, does get the hit around this pallet, and this is what Vamp needs. He needs somebody out of the game immediately. If this chase ends quickly, then Vamp might be able to bring this back and get a high stage game like Vicinal wants. But we do see Leo coming here to support a little bit, and I am surprised to see this because it is a bit difficult to take hits against Chucky. As Chucky can just slice and dice past survivors, and body blocking is difficult. But good play by Leo there, waited because slice and dice is on cooldown, so they force the M1 and just body block there, and are going to juke this slice and dice as well. And Vamp again just leaving Gatos. Maybe wants to go ahead and down Ace here to get a pain resonance to slow down that last generator and buy a little bit more time, which is a viable strategy, but that generator is already about halfway. And with how the hooks are spread now, I think Vamp has just given up on this tunnel out, unless Yatos shows himself and gets easily two-tapped. I don't think we'll see Vamp commit to that. I think at this point he's accepted that 4K may be off the table, and he just wants to get as many fresh hooks as possible and get this pain resonance to stall the game, because at this point you're in damage control, right? You just need to make sure that before these outs happen, you have a lot to show for it. And if you commit a long time to Yatos and they get the last gen done, that might only be one more hook stage. So what Vamp is doing now makes sense, but we'll see if he can keep up the pressure here. Again, Yatos showing himself. I feel like this endgame could go either way. I don't know what's going to happen.
I agree. I think I also think what you were just saying makes a lot of sense. I think going for hook stages here is probably the way to do it, since he knows that there is a lot of progress on that last gen out there. He hasn't seen Nato in a while, so we can assume he knows that Nato is on that generator. He is going to be sticking on tap this time, maybe thinking that if he can get this chase done quickly, he can still get him out and get a couple more hook stages, but it's risky. Ooh. Wow, very nice hit, very nice down, and that is gonna be Yatos leaving the game. However, survivors do manage to get that last generator done and are now gonna be heading for those exit gates.
I do want to say, I think that was actually a very good balanced landing by Yatos, and I thought he got out of that and dodged that hit, but he was not expecting Vamp to scamper under that pallet and hit him, which I didn't expect either. So very good play by Vamp and Yatos as well, but Vamp does get the better of him there. And right now, Vamp really needs a fresh hook survivor. I believe Rats is fresh, if I'm not mistaken. I think Rats has not been hooked at all, the Zarina player, so ideally that would be best, but right now all the survivors are pretty hidden, and Vamp does actually find Rats now, so they are going to be playing this window, and this is where the range of that slice and dice comes in. That's such a large distance that Chucky can cover, but was not enough to hit Rats, and they do actually get away from that, and this down will be coming in. Never mind. Okay, this is cross ping, so I thought that was going to be down, but I guess not. Rats is inside the server, so is going to live a little bit longer. And we do see in the distance, Hanato is working that door. And as I was talking about, you can't take hits against Chucky like that. So very good play by Vamp. Does get the down onto Zarina, which is who he wants. And I think we're just going to see these survivors take their outs here. But oh my god, that was for the people.
Yeah, it was. Renato coming in clutch with that for the people for Zarina, giving her a second life in this game. Chucky beelining it back, and Vamp absolutely wanting to try and get this hook done.
Oh my god, he was able to... He pinpointed Zarina's exact location because he got the aura reading from Undying because she was next to a Dull Totem. That is very, very unlucky for Rats. And as we see, Leo and Freeze are both leaving the trial. So that will be the last survivor. That'll be Fresh Hook. So that's +3 hook stages for Vamp. I'm sure they feel very good taking that. So looks like an 8-stage game. That was a death onto tap and Zarina, and I believe with 1 hook on Ace and Hanato. So looks like an 8-stage 4-fresh game, which honestly, I feel like it's about what I would expect for this version of Chucky on this map. I'm not really exactly sure what the normal result would be once this gets normalized, but I think this was a very good... Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are back with Vicinal versus Night Owls in the second trial of this matchup here. Last match, we did see Vamp on the Chucky get 8 stages, 4 fresh. So Vicinal here will have to... Oh my gosh, Vamp on 0 ping, getting that stun and smash it onto Chucky. So for Vicinal to win this matchup, they'll have to give away less than 8 hook stages and escape the trial here with that. So I'm excited to see how this game goes, T, as the first injury comes in to our Vicinal Chucky player himself, Vamp. And that is actually another tag onto Slasher here. So kind of a fast-paced start, T. I think Leo here is getting some early injuries, which is what you want if you're on Night Owls.
Yeah, I wonder if Slasher was trying to come in and take that chase for Vamp. It seemed like they could have just kind of stayed crouched behind those barrels and maybe gotten away with it. I don't know. But yeah, definitely an early first chase, an early first down. Definitely not going to be as much generator progress because we saw 2 survivors that entire first round. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I will be interested to see what Vicinal can get done on Survivor here.
Wow, very, very interesting place to loop here. Green Zero actually picks that vault. Chucky is a 110 killer, don't forget. So Gree actually gets away with that. But yeah, last trial when that first hook stage came in, we saw Night Owl survivors did have a good amount of progress on multiple gens. But when this down came in, we don't see that same pressure. So Leo, I think here has a favorable start. So we'll just have to see if they can keep that momentum. Bronzy drop down there. They can't get M1. They're going to force Leo to go all the way up the stairs and drop down to hit them. But actually, Bronzy left this early, does avoid that M1 attack. And Leo is actually not interested. They do want to come back, which is, in my opinion, the correct play here. You do not want to let this unhook come in for free, especially so close to second stage here. Leo does not want to give that away for nothing. So they are going to play close to this hook, confirm the second stage, and there we go. Second stage on to Slasher. So we have a Death Hook survivor at 5 gens T. This is looking scary for Vicinal.
Yeah, absolutely. Night Owls did not come to play. Coming
Down the hole.
down the hole. Gonna be checking around here again, possibly hoping to just have this a confirmed out, but Vicinal are gonna have to do everything they can to get the survivor off hook. With no gens popped, it would be pretty bad for them if they lose a survivor here at this particular point. And looks like EO just happy to patrol this hook, and survivors have said, you know what, we gotta get some gen progress done somewhere. So opting to do some gens. Nadu over in lab, still injured, and looks like he's just gonna be going up to lab gen to get work done.
With these injuries, I wonder if Vicinal even plans to unhook this to begin with, unless Bronzy gets this for free. Okay, Bronzy actually is going to come in and trade. Okay, the thing is, I know if you're Vicinal here, you don't want this to turn into a 3v1 right now, but now with this trade happening, if Slasher doesn't last a very long time, that is 2 injured survivors and a slug on the ground, which is a worse situation than they would be in if they just let Slasher die. But Slasher so far doing a good job, does get that stun onto Chucky there, and is buying some more time here. And again, this trade is worth it if this chase lasts a long time, but it's so sketchy because Chucky is a strong killer, does have a strong anti-loop power, but Slasher so far proving to make this trade worth it. They are lasting a good amount of time. Bronzy is fully recovered on the ground, and Gree Zero does get that pickup onto them in the distance. So right now, Slasher, the result of this game kind of lies on your shoulders, but I think they're dead. They are going down.
Wow, Leo coming in and just said absolutely not. And that's going to be Slasher out of the game. We are now into 3v1 territory with 4 generators still left to go. Contra, how are you feeling about this for Vicinal? They're in a tough position here.
I'm feeling like, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I'm feeling like we're looking at a 4K soon, because I didn't really talk about perks at all up to this point, but we know that Hex Ruin is still up. And on top of that, it's up in a 3v1, which is always scary. And on top of that, all those 3 survivors are injured. And we also saw that the killer opted to bring Mindbreaker here. So if they're working those gens, they won't have their exhaustion perks ready to go. They'll be injured, working gens without exhaustion, ready to be used. And it'll just be very dangerous to work these gens. So Gree Zero does go down. But Bronzy actually does pop that upstairs generator for that chase. So right now, this is pretty much there's 2 gens left. There is no progress. We saw Bronzy and Vamp pop both their gens. We have a survivor on hook, and I just think this 3v1 situation T is we can see it work out sometimes, but this is not one of those times I feel like it can go in the survivor's favor. There's just too many injuries, I feel like, and Ruin is still up, which the survivors will have to worry about. So unless somebody goes on a generational run here against the Chucky, I don't see Vicinal taking this. But hey, anything can happen. They're not out of the game until they're out of the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like, though, we are going to see Vamp and Gree go for a reset, which I was going to ask at this point, what, like, do you dare go for a reset? But they were able to get Bronzy off hooks. So I think going for that reset is going to be fairly critical at this point, still with 2 generators to do. And like you said, Ruin is still up, ruining their days, making everything a lot more difficult. Not able to get that reset completely, but Ace is healed. So that's something, maybe.
It's something, but is it enough is the question. And Leo finding this reset is very big, because had 2 of these 3 survivors been able to go healthy, then this 3v1 would be a lot more manageable for them. But right now we are taking chase on an injured Bronzy here, and Leo is going to drop down this little tube here and continue the chase on a Bronzy. And right now it's with that reset being interrupted, I feel like Leo is still in such a dominant spot.
Yeah.
Actually, looks like they're okay. I was going to say, why are you leaving this? It looked like they were going to leave, but they changed their mind. They are going to come back, which I think is a good play here. There isn't much progress around the map. You just need to commit to something and get some pressure going. And another smash hit by Vamp. He's out of there.
And they did get that reset on Vamp as well. So two healed survivors, 1 injured, someone taking chase. Someone's got to start doing generators.
Yep.
I don't know. It still feels like Leo is in a really dominant position here. I mean, Vicinal making it a little harder for sure, but I don't know. I think they're still in a really, really rocky position.
Yeah, they definitely are, but you did mention a second ago the decision of resetting, and it feels wrong in the situation, right? Because you just need gens, and there's no progress up, and there's Hex Ruin as well. But with everybody being injured against a killer like Chucky, with Mindbreaker being in play, so you can't even pre-sprint burst or pre-light away, I feel like you just have to get these resets. And Vamp actually jukes that slice and dice, so they are not going down just yet, but they do lose this unsafe pallet, so they are going to be put on the hook now. But yeah, in this situation, especially with this kind of killer on an indoor map like this, with Mindbreaker in play, you can't even play injured and use your exhaustion smart, really. So I feel like a resetting is such a nuisance to these survivors, but something they have to do. I feel like it is necessary in this kind of situation, because you just can't work gens if you're injured and don't have an exhaustion perk up. So they are doing what they need to do. They are respecting those health states and getting those resets off as they need to. But we are seeing the consequence of that. We don't really see any generator progress, and what little progress they're getting is kind of just being eaten up by Ruin, because Ruin is still active, and when the survivors don't know where the Chucky is, they're playing safe and not working those gens, as we're seeing now. Bronzy was just looking in the hallway this whole time because they don't have eyes on the killer. So that is another injury coming in, and we're still at 2 gens. We haven't seen really any generator get close to popping in a while, and Ruin is really starts to put in overtime in these 3v1 situations. And right now, Leo is getting so much perk value from Hex Ruin.
I will say my least favorite words to say on Codif, which is, I think we're in for a long, slow ending here. I think the choice to reset means that this is going to take a while. It's going to be a lot of cat and mouse and a lot of back and forth, because it does seem like the survivors are committed to doing these resets, which again, I think makes a lot of sense. Like you said, with, Mindbreaker and not being able to use their exhaustion perks. And Leo knows exactly that. He has a lot to, I would say, maybe a lot of time to work with, but also can't really afford to make any mistakes, because Vicinal is a good team. They will capitalize on any mistakes that Leo makes. And it looks like we do have Ace on a Gloatum here, which, again, another thing to help their cause. I think they're just trying to play it slow and, gain as much ground as they can. And it seems like they're happy to just have Vamp be running Leo for the time being.
Yep, and there we go. We see the other Hex perk. I've been waiting to talk about it. That is Devour Hope. So Vamp is down. He did get hit by that Devour Hope because he was exposed. So that is going to be a second hook stage onto Vamp. And right now, I will say it was very good of them to go ahead and take care of that Ruin. because you just can't really do anything in a 3v1 with Ruin up right now. But with Devour still being in play, it's like, what do you do in this situation? You want to get rid of it, but you just, I feel like in the Survivor's case right now, you kind of just have to do gens and pray. I don't know, pray that you have time to pop something, because there's just no time to get these unhooks and then get the totem and then reset and then work gens. That's just a war of attrition that you will never win
Yep.
against the killer in the situation. So I don't know, unless Leo lets him get it for free. I feel like we're going to see Devour up for a long time here, and we're going to see these survivors just play aggressively and try to take what they can get. Getting one more generator done before this game is all said and done would still be, I think, a good accomplishment in this situation. But I don't know. I don't want to count Vicinal. We'll see what they can do. We are seeing a slice and dice come in here, and Bronzy is down. There's not much you can do right now. I feel like with Chucky, again, did go through some changes recently, but ramping up to that top speed very fast with that acceleration buff, I feel like we are seeing a lot in those little medium range slice and dice hits, which come in a lot easier now. So well played by Leo, utilizing that very well, as we are seeing the second hook stage come in onto Bronzy as well. So now we have 2 death hook survivors, and Grease0 is off in the distance, cranking a generator as well. So I'm feeling like this is a 4K1. I think if Leo plays exceptionally well, or if Vicinal just makes a mistake, it could be 4K2, but I do think we are going to see that one last generator pop before these survivors all flop over and die. Grease0 is getting pushed off of it, but with Vicinal, we know they are a good team. They are going to have good comms and try and have somebody take over this gen for Grease0, I would imagine. So Grease0 is just going to loop this double window setup, but it does go down next to the generator as well. And that is a Mori. We are at 5 stacks of Devour Hope.
Man. And, you know, with hindsight being 2020, a while back, you mentioned that you kind of feel like going for these resets maybe wasn't the right idea, that just sitting on gens and trying to get as much progress was. And with Devour now in play, I kind of think you might be correct on that. Oh, Nato getting yanked off the gen, and now it's just a matter of time. And you said you thought we were going to be at a 4K1, but I don't know. This is so looking close. Pretty 4K2. Leo coming in with a second Mori for our lovely viewers here. Just a really, really strong performance by Leo overall. Vicinal did a great job of trying to come back at the end, made some really smart choices, but man, Leo, it just felt like he was dictating the pace of this match the entire time.
I definitely agree. From the very start, Leo did have a lot of pressure. I think Vicinal maybe got caught out a little bit, weren't spread out, and kind of got just 2 free injuries at the start with an early down on top of that. And with that tunnel out coming in, Ruin saw so much value, and then Devour was just the final nail in the coffin, I feel like. And even then, oh, there we go. Bronzy does get caught out. They are going to get down. But even then, if Grease0 was able to hold a little bit more distance and just like even die, like if they were able to run maybe 3 seconds or 4 seconds in the other direction and then die after leaving that high progress generator at the end, it might have been enough for
all right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog, and welcome back to this Group B bronze match. This time we see Leo piloting the Spirit first off for Night Owls. Vicinal once again on Survivor, and I imagine they are hoping that they are going to have a little bit of a better game this time. How are you feeling about this matchup, Contra?
I'm feeling excited. I love casting Spirit. I just feel like these chase interactions are so fun to watch, as Vamp does get that stun onto Leo here and will be making some extra distance. And Spirit on the Suffocation Pit is not where I'm used to seeing her. Usually it's Wrecker's Yard, so this is also a bit new for me. But we are seeing a bit of a generator setup around main. I think, is this 4 gens? Maybe 5 gens around main, so Leo has a lot to work with here. And if they're able to actually get it down within this generator setup, that could be a very strong start. And I believe Grease0 is dying right in the middle of this potential 5 gen, which I don't know if they identified that. That could be a big blunder from Vicinal here at the start if they didn't calm these gens very well. But that'll be the first hook stage of the game, and Vamp got reset, so we know there isn't a lot of generator progress. T.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say we did see some games last weekend on Suffocation Pit where there was these super tight 3 gens, super tight 4 gens, and survivors managed to break them and come back incredibly strong. It's not impossible to work with this setup, but it is definitely more difficult, and it looks like Leo is banking on making it as hard as possible, trying to catch somebody off this generator here. And it looks like gonna be making their way back over towards Hook, trying to interrupt any kind of rescue. But yeah, definitely there wasn't a ton of generator progress going on with that first reset. What do you think the strategy is here for our survivors?
Right now, they need to unhook Grease0, which they just did, and Grease0 needs to die as far away from the main building as possible. They cannot die there again. If they die near the shack side and give their team a lot of time to crank those topside gens, that would be ideal. But Grease0 actually opting to die in the pallet here. They emoted under it, so I wonder if somebody's here for pallet save. And Slasher was here. They actually took an injury for that, so it wasn't completely for free, but the pallet save onto Grease0 comes in, and that was a champion of light blind, so Leo will get slowed down after that blind came in, and are committing to Slasher here, so that is a down close to mid-map. And Leo, important to note, Leo knows exactly where Grease0 is. They went down towards the killer shack, and they also know somebody else just popped a generator down there now. So good information on these survivors' whereabouts. And this will be hook stage number 2. This one onto our Ada player Slasher here. And again, Leo opting to take this hook on the top side of the map near main building. This is where you want to hook your survivors. This is near your generators, and you can defend this. And Grease0 does get reset off in the distance shack side. And right now, Leo knows that there's somebody around here that was working that generator, and they want to just do a little bit of scouting. If they are able to suss out this survivor and get a tag here or deny his unhook for a bit, that would be very good for Leo. But right now, 1 generator done, 2 hooks. Could go either way, but I will say right now, Leo is looking pretty strong again. They actually do find the survivor topside here. It looks like it's Vamp.
Yeah, absolutely. These downs are coming fast and furious from Leo, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Going to be taking that tag and then looking back towards Hook to see if anyone's coming in for a sneaky rescue. We have, nope, 2 survivors on gens, and it looks like maybe they're going to be content to let Slasher hang on Hook for a little bit in exchange for some generator progress, knowing that they have a little bit of work to do down on this end of the map. And Leo happy to just take the stage, I think, as well. So interesting that we're seeing oh, and it looks like Vamp got reset.
Yep. It might have been inner strength. It looks like Vamp does have inner, so maybe maybe he reset himself. But also, I did want to mention really fast. I was wondering earlier why Leo just let Grease0 get reset bot side and abandon the tunnel out on him, and I realize why now, because Leo has Gift of Pain, so they basically let Grease0 get unhooked, get healed up, and if it was a Scourge hook, then Grease0 is now doing gens 16% slower while they tunnel somebody else out. And one of your 3 survivors that's able to work generators doing it 16% slower while you get somebody out of the game is such a strong strategy. And honestly, Gift of Pain, I've been seeing it a little bit more common now because of that strength is just such a big advantage to have that one survivor have such a big debuff like that. But Vamp going down was exposed because of Dragon's Grip.
God.
Grease0 is the only survivor standing right now, T. This game quickly just snowballed so fast. This could be game over.
Yeah, absolutely. If I were Vicinal, I would be incredibly concerned. It looks like they're waiting here trying to get the pickup on Tori, but yeah, Leo not going to let that happen. And Slasher, just like that, is out of the game, and we are in 3v1 territory. Going to be taking that Lithe to get over here as quick as possible. Vamp is now up, but they do not have time for a reset, as Gree is going to be taking, nope, going to be going back for Vamp, it looks like, which I definitely think is the smart choice. Although that does leave Gree free to go down and get Tori, but at this point the survivors are so split up and with injuries, and now Vamp is down again. This is just, I think this match could be done very quickly, Contra.
Yeah, I agree. And right now, I would say normally we would be used to a killer slugging in a situation like this to just get more pressure or get somebody on the second hook stage, but they were able to find that down onto Vamp. Again, deep in the generator setup. This is all the way, looks like maybe behind main, and all the important gens are here. So Right now, this is just such a good hook position yet again for Leo. And right now, it looks like Vicinal is just planning to keep Bronzy injured. They don't have time to go through that slow reset through Gift of Pain and then do generators even slower after healing. So Bronzy actually opting just to stay injured here and work a generator on the bottom side of the map, which Leo does not care about as much. And honestly, I think that's the best decision right now Vicinal can make, because you have to use your time very wisely. You don't have much time here, and if you use that resetting slowly and then doing gens slower, you might not see another generator pop before this game is said and done. So Bronzy can maybe pop that generator down there if Greezero and Vamp can waste enough time on this side for that to happen. And Vamp running this main building yet again is going to have to get out of a phase here. Very good dead hard, so not going down just yet. And they are going to make some more distance here on the main building. And this chase from Vamp can be the difference between a 4K2 and a 4K3, I believe, T.
Yeah, absolutely. Vamp running for their lives here. And now Leo's had enough, and it's time for Vamp to be back on the ground again. But meanwhile, Tori and Ace are going for this reset here. At least one of them is reset. Yeah, this is a really dominant performance again from Leo. Just, I don't know if they had their Wheaties this morning or what it is, but they are on top of these survivors. They absolutely have Vicinal's number, and Vicinal's struggling here to get any more generator progress.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to be in here on the survivor side, and they did go ahead and opt to reset Greezero, which I know I just said you have to use your time very wisely, and you won't always have time to reset, but I do think you're playing such a risky game if you keep everybody injured. So good heads-up play by Vicinal to go ahead and have Greezero be healthy so they can play for something, a pickup or whatever. But Leo knows that they reset down here, so Leo has the information. They have Vamp slugged topside for about almost 2 minutes now, it looks like, judging by that bleed out. But they know that reset on the Greezero came in on the bottom side of the map, and they're just holding cross, and they find Bronzy here, who's also injured and going down. But this is a good death spot far away from the gens, but it doesn't matter. Leo is happy taking it because this hook means that's one survivor is 70 seconds away from being eliminated. And I think if they can make this a 2v1 while there's still 3 gens left, then Leo can maybe get this 4K3. I think it's definitely on the table. That generator in the middle has regressed to almost nothing, and all these generators at the top here also have like no progress. So Leo, if he's able to confirm Bronzy's death or somebody's death really, and just make this a 2v1, I think it'll just be very difficult for one more generator to pop. Again, I hate saying this because you're not out of the game until you're out of the game, but Vicinal will really need to work for this last generator if they want to pop one more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at this point, I think going for any generator might be the play. Trying to break this 3-gen with 3 people and someone constantly injured feels like a really tall task, especially against a killer with such high mobility. I don't know. I don't know how you come back from this. It's not impossible. Like you said, we've seen some wild comebacks here at Codiv, but Leo has a pretty dominating hold on this match. It looks like they are going to be doubling up on one of those gens, but Leo is going to be right back on top of them.
Okay, I will say right now that this is a little bit of a momentum shift, because Leo opted to stay topside to look for Vamp instead of going back to tunnel Bronzy, and actually didn't find Vamp at all. So Vamp is now cranking that generator by main building, while Greezero and Bronzy here were doubling this mid-map gen, and does get the tag onto Greezero, but that is some pressure lost by Leo, because now if they have good comms here, Leo's going topside and Vamp can just hide off of this generator again. Tori can reset Greezero, and they just repeat. They can double this mid-map gen while they work main solo. And right now, I think Leo just not finding Vamp earlier whenever Tori got unhooked was a very unfortunate thing to happen if you're on Night Owls here, because that's just buying them time. Again, we see the reset come in onto Greezero here, and the Spirit is a very strong chase killer, but she can't get around the map as easily as someone like Blight, which we see often played on the Suffocation Pit. So if these survivors split these generators opposite sides of the map, and with a good death spot, it's possible that we will see one more generator pop, because Leo did lose a little bit of time there by not finding the survivor when they needed to. So this down actually is coming in onto Bronzy, who is death hook. So this down came in fast. Leo gets that, at least that they will secure this death, and Vamp is about halfway on this main building generator. So looks like a deja vu is in play. That yellow bar means it is going faster. So Leo will be going straight there, I'm sure. But I don't know, T. Do you? I don't think they'll be able to pop this in a 2v1. But you think Vicinal can work some magic here and pop one of these gens?
I mean, I think if they can convince Leo to hang out down by Shack, anything is possible. But my guess is that's just not going to happen. Leo knows the game and knows what's up at this point. So they know that somebody has been down here working on this gen. They know it's probably Nato, and they're going to be doing their best to find them. You know, and especially now with those gens done by Shack, I mean, survivors have a very small area to work with here. I mean, they do have this middle gen, but I don't know. Leo has this area pretty locked down and looks like they're having a good time. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. You know, maybe something happens. I don't think so. I think these survivors are just they're gonna do what they can. It looks like they're gonna be cat and mousing and playing pretty slowly. But I don't know, Contra. What do you think?
Well, I think Vamp right now is doing such a good job not getting found, because had Vamp got found earlier, or if Vamp were to be found right now, because I think they're right under Leo's nose. Vamp was stealthing behind main here. If these survivors got found earlier in the situations where they were stealthing, this game could have already been over. So Vicinal, even though they're in a tough spot, they're doing a very good job making those stealth plays when they need to and denying that information. And right now, GreeZero plans to just keep the chase down here, maybe, hopefully long enough for Vamp to pop that main building gen. But we already know Eruption is in play, so when this down comes in, that'll be minus 10% on all the generators marked by Eruption. We did see the anti-3 gen mechanic kick in a little bit ago, so pretty soon there won't be a lot more kicks Leo can do, but still enough left for Eruption to proc on both of these gens. And now we'll see if Vamp can pull off that insane stealth again. At this point, really, Vamp's only play is to maybe try and stealth down the map and pick up GreeZero, or just hang out around here long enough for Leo to leave. But no, they actually get found this time. GreeZero actually with the Unbreakable, so they are up off the ground and able to work a bot side gen, while Vamp runs for his life here. And good play by Leo. They placed the husk on that pallet, so Vamp vaulted and could not move. So that was a guaranteed down. Such a good play by Leo, showing their skill and the spirits. And now we have Vamp getting hooked mid-map. And right now, with this hook position, I feel like it's all but over. Leo also knows that GreeZero is bot side. So T, I think we're about to see this game come to a close.
Yeah, absolutely. Barring some incredible stealthing or just really ballsy gameplay, I think this is over. But an incredible run by Vicinal here. I really thought that they might be able to get that main building backside gen done. Vamp was doing such a good job stealthing, as you said, and GreeZero was buying a little bit of time down on the other end of the map, but just not quite able to buy enough time before that eruption came in. And overall, again, it's looking like Leo really dictated the pace of this game. I mean, survivors did manage to get a bit of their momentum back midway through, but this was a tough setup to work with.
I do want to mention that this is the on both of these survivor games for Vicinal. At the very end, they got downed or grabbed off of a generator that was like 99. So they were so close to getting one more generator done in both the Chucky and Spirit games. So very unfortunate. They're like just biding their time at the end, almost able to get one additional gen done, but Leo was able to stop them both times. So generator defense Leo, they're doing very good here. So that's a 4K3. That is such a good result. Hello everybody, and welcome back to potentially our final trial of this matchup here. We're back with the Spirit on Suffocation Pit, and right now we are seeing Night Owls on the survivor side versus Vamp again, killing for Vicinal. And right now Vamp has a very tall ask T to take this set and win the spirit set for Vicinal here. Vamp has to get a 4K4, or even if Vamp just wants to tie, they have to get a 4K at 3 gens remaining. So very, very tall ask for Vamp on the killer side here. They need to get the ball rolling very fast, and I'm excited to see how this game goes. We are seeing the first survivor get found here. It looks like Freeze, our Hanato player, and oh, T! That is an injury. Vamp swung for it.
Ooh. Really excellent hit. Wow, looks like we're just going to be taking this first down right off the rip. Vamp coming in with a very quick down. That is exactly what you want to see at the beginning of a match. Like you said, they have a kind of a big ask, especially with the map set up the way it is. It is, I would say, kind of like 2-3 gens, one on each end of the map. Needless to say, they have a lot more space they need to patrol on this end. And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Vamp can pull this off?
I think, okay, if I were Vamp here, I mean, I would have a very aggressive start, and as we saw, Vamp just swing through that pallet, and it worked. So you have to play a little bit risky, even just to tie here. And I don't think Vamp nor the rest of Vicinal is expecting Vamp to get a 4K4 here. I think they're just trying to get a very aggressive and fast start and try and make something happen soon so they can get the tie. Because if Vamp is able to get the tie, and that'll be all it needs. That'll be all Vicinal needs to take this to the third set. And 4K4 is so difficult, especially on a map like this. Spirit doesn't have the best mobility compared to somebody like Blight, for example, like I had mentioned earlier. So they have a very, very good chase potential. But these survivors, if they just waste a little bit of time, die in corners away from all the gens, there's not very much a Spirit can do on a map like this. So we are seeing Leo here get a good Lithe off to get some distance here as Hanato gets unhooked in the distance. And Vamp is going to follow Nancy here up to the top side of the map. We do hear the Firecracker get dropped and a tag come in onto Nancy. We are going to see Vamp go back to Hanato. And I think this is the right play. You definitely need a tunnel out relatively early to try and 4K3 here.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see our first generator go down on the far half, or on the shack half of the map, rather. But like you said, Vamp going to be committing to Nadu here, trying to get this quick tunnel out. But I don't know if this plays out like the other games so far. Vicinal is not going to get this easy. Night Owl is going to be playing out of their minds again. It looks like we lost track of Nado for a minute. Heading back over to this corner gen to check it out. They do see a totem there. My guess is survivors may have clocked that potentially, but not 100% sure on that. Going to be making their way back over to Shack's side to see what they can find. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, maybe Vamp got a little bit lost, or just is concerned about this generator here. They are able to push Rats off of it, but that is a good sprint burst by Rats. Does bait Vamp into committing pretty far, getting close to Rats before popping that SB. So this is where those exhaustions come into play. If you can get good use out of those exhaustions, you can deny a lot of those downs, and good body block by Hanato coming in there, protecting Leo from going down. And we are seeing the Shack Pallet get thrown at 4 gens. May she rest in peace, Shack Pallet. But the chase is continuing here onto Leo, and oh, they actually win that vault. Oh, T, this game is so fast paced. We are potentially going to have another generator pop there on the right side of Shack, but no, that is going to be an interruption, so it'll be stalled for at least a little bit longer, and that'll be hook stage number 2 of the game. I will say 2 hooks at 4 gens looks good, but it begs the question, is that enough? The Vamp can only afford to let 1 more generator pop here just to get a tie.
Yeah, I don't know that it is enough. We know that 3 other survivors are out there. We do just see the reset coming in on Nadu, so presumably only 1 person was on a gen for a period of time, but I don't know. Whoa. Nancy did manage to buy a lot of time for their teammates, and I think that Night Owls is just going to be content to play this kind of slowly, to not play super risky, make sure they're getting their rescues, getting their resets in, and then just slowly chipping away at that gen progress. And we do see that Nancy is our deliverance player, as she is now off a hook and broken and going to be taking chase again back at Shack. This time fewer resources to work with. My guess is this chase may not last quite as long, but then again, here at Codif, our Nancy players are cracked out of their minds. Nancy players always play incredibly well, and it looks like maybe that was... Was that second wind as well?
Yeah, I did not want to interrupt you, but yes, that was second wind. That was second wind.
Second wind? Oh my gosh. And
No,
so
no, no, no.
Nancy.
Deliverance will not be in play. It's just second wind onto Leo there.
Oh, you're right.
I get it confused a lot. I see the broken after the quick unhook. I always think it's Deli, but I don't believe in. I don't think in this season's balancing.
You're right.
Deliverance
we
is allowed versus Spirit. Yes.
Yep.
So there will be no Deliverance in play. So somebody did have to play for that unhook onto Nancy. And even though she got tagged, that second wind coming in and preventing that down is such a good, strong thing on the Survivor side to have, because now Vamp doesn't really have anything going for them. They don't have a slug. They don't have any kind of pressure. That second wind prevented Nancy from going down. And this generator here by main is pretty high progress. We're already at the tie condition. So Vamp must be feeling the pressure right now. And if there's a snowball or anything that has to happen, it has to happen right now for Vamp.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know if that's going to be possible at this point. That hill gen has so much progress, and survivors are playing this really smart. And just like that, it is over for Vicinal, which means that Night Owls is going to take this bronze matchup. Man, kind of an unfortunate way for Vicinal to be ending the season, but they have played incredibly well and did a great job to get to the bronze matchup. So... Oh,
Vamp tasting that blast mud, and yes, GG's to Vicinal. Unfortunately, they are out of it now. But no, I agree. Vicinal has played very well up until this point, and they gave us, of course, that iconic Hag matchup versus Chance, which was just something to
was
watch.
So good.
And I've casted this team quite a bit, and it's always good to watch them go against other good teams like Night Owls as well. So. That being said, this trial is not over. Vicinal may not be out of it, but we are going to still see some more Spirit gameplay by Vamp. And one thing that I respect about a lot of these good teams we see play in COTF, Vicinal included, is they keep their head in the game, even if the decision has already been made for the set. They still keep their head in the game, and they try and play it out and get the best result. So I expect to see that from Vamp right now as well. Even though they know that they haven't, they were not able to get this win condition or tie condition. We are still going to see Vamp try their best to lock in a solid result for Vicinal here and walk away with something. But as I say that, the fourth generator has popped, and right now Vamp is in a very difficult spot. I believe there's only 2 stages on the board right now, and right now there's, on the bright side, we do have a 3-gen here, a loose 3-gen around main, but there is already a lot of progress. So Vamp is going to have to make something happen to get at least a high stage game here. But Night Owl's playing this so well. I want to talk for a second about how good Night Owls is doing, because every hit they take, all the distance they decide to run versus Vamp here is so calculated. They're running away from these gens, dying in the right spots, and taking hits when they need to. And right now, this resulted in what we're seeing. We have 4 gens done, we have 2 hooks, and 3 healthy survivors, maybe 4 soon. So Night Owl is playing this very cold and calculated, and not being overly aggressive, as you said earlier. So very clean survivor performance here as well.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use. Night Owls have just been playing. They're playing it really, really clean. They've not given anything away for free. They've not panicked at all. They played it very slow, very methodically. They made sure they got their resets in. They got those rescues. I mean, they just played incredibly well. Night Owls is a very strong team, and it's such a pleasure to be able to watch this matchup in our Group B bronze. That said, I think we're looking at least 3 outs, probably. Yeah, no, 4 outs, maybe. This is just incredibly well played by Night Owls.
I feel like Vamp could have phased for a moment longer and went through that healthy survivor and gotten a down. But maybe, I don't know if Vamp maybe just doesn't care anymore since the set's already been decided. I'm not sure. Or if they messed up. It could have also been auto aim. Who knows? But very well played by Night Owls, confirming that. And Rats actually is able to make it to the shack here and try and get to that hatch. But it was actually on the other side. The window is opposite side. Oh, Vamp, the good old sport that you are, giving Ada hatch. Nope, psych. Nope, you're getting moried.
Psych. Oh man, for a second we thought here at Codif we had solved world peace, but instead Vamp has chosen violence, and honestly, as is their right.